First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, we appreciate you joining us here. We are live from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do here every afternoon, covering a wide range of topics. Right now, though, we're going to be talking about an event. Well, if you're watching live, it's about 10 days from now. If you're watching afterward, I'm talking about August 16th, where there is a huge match happening in Tampa Bay for an MMA fight for PFL, where the winner goes on to potentially compete for $1 million and the championship prize. And one of those people competing is Eugene native and Portland local Brent Primus, who is joining us here once again. You probably saw him a few months ago when he was here on the show. We got to find out all about his backstory, and amazing backstory that is. But Brent, it is good to have you on here with us today. You know, as you're preparing for this match, I can't imagine what the training is like for this, gearing up for it. But first off, thanks for being here with us again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
And I want to go into preparation for this fight, what it's like going through that and everything. But could you give everybody just an idea? You're here in the area training. Can you talk about where it is that you train and what that means to you really to be here in this area working towards this fight?
Yeah, I train the American Top Team in Portland. I have an amazing team that pushes me and helps me get ready. And, I'm in the semifinals for the $1 million, and I'm training my butt off literally, and I'm cutting weight. And yeah, man, it's just 10 days away, and here we go, man. I'm going to fight. My life is on the line, and change my family's life for sure.
Well, so with 10 days leading up to this, what is a day in the life of training for that? Do you just go all out? Do you have to be careful to make sure that you're maintaining your, not tearing anything or not wearing yourself out? Like, how do you train this close to a fight?
Yeah, it's a fine line, like obviously I can't get injured. But at the same time, I'm training really hard. I'm training at least 3 times a day, and pushing my body to the max, and at the same time I'm cutting weight. I'm hardly eating right now, and it's part of the game. I'm used to it. I can't wait to cut weight and eat a bunch of carbs. But yeah, man, I'm training my butt off right now. Like I said, I'm training 3 times a day. I usually wake up and do calisthenics, a bunch of pull-ups and push-ups and jump squats, and then I go to conditioning and do conditioning for an hour, and then I drive up to Portland and train there for 2 or 3 hours, and then I drive back to Eugene and get one more training session at nighttime, and then I head home and do some more calisthenics, and then get in the sauna or the hot tub and relax, and then get ready for another day.
I didn't realize you're commuting from Eugene to Portland during all of this too. That's just an added part of it, or do you use that as just kind of resting and relaxing during that?
Man, people say like, oh, you get a rest on your drive home, but it's not much of a rest when I'm driving, and especially when I just got done training for hours, like really hard, and then get in the car and let the lactic acid build up and everything. So the driving is no fun. Maybe after I win this $1 million, I'll hire a limo driver to drive me to Portland and back or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for years, and I'm used to it now, and I have to drive up to Portland if I want to get those awesome rounds and good training. And I always say you need to surround yourself with people that have the same goals and dreams as you do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm up at American Top Team. There's so many professional fighters up there, and we all have the same dream. We all push each other to the max, and the drive is worth it for sure.
Okay, one quick question about the drive, because if everybody's here in Portland, I'm sure that's what 2.5 hours, depending what time you're going to be doing it. What is it that you listen to in the car during that?
Oh man, I used to just listen to a bunch of podcasts and stuff, but pretty much just any music. I don't really care. I kind of just like zone out. I'm so tired, and I just cruise, man. But I do watch a lot of podcasts for sure.
Well, going towards preparation, for this fight, which is in 10 days, as you mentioned, can you give everybody some context? You mentioned it's the semifinals, just where this is at in this season, because it's kind of unique how PFL does it, and how big this is for this entire season of PFL.
Yeah, I'm in the PFL season. There's 4 fights to win the $1 million. I've won my first 2 fights by rear naked choke. I'm in the semifinals right now, and so after this fight in Florida on August 16th, I'll be in the finals for the $1 million. And I heard it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, so that's kind of crazy, but it will be cool to travel. And that's one of the cool things about fighting, is just seeing the world and traveling and stuff. So, but one step at a time. August 16th, I'm not going to underestimate my opponent. He's tough, and I've been training really hard. I'm ready, and I'm ready to go get that win August 16th for sure.
When you train, and obviously who your opponent is going to be, do you specifically study them, or do you concentrate more on just yourself?
Yeah. I leave a lot of that up to my coaches. My coaches have been watching my opponent and done a lot of film work on him and everything, and I just listen to them, and they tell me what I got to do to beat him. And it's been working really well so far. I feel great. I believe in my coaches. I love all my coaches, American Top Team, and yeah, man, just 2 fights, and life changing for my family for sure.
Yeah, I mean, getting so close to it, and I definitely want to talk about that. You mentioned traveling as well. If the championship is in Saudi Arabia, for you traveling and fighting like this, you've been doing it for a number of years. What are some of the most interesting places that you've been able to see as you get to do this?
I fought in Ireland. That was awesome.
Wow.
I fought in England and places like that. But I think Saudi Arabia is gonna take the cake for sure. Of just traveling and going places and going to Abu Dhabi and bringing my wife over there and everything like that. But my last fight was in Salt Lake City. The one before that was in Vegas, and so I was kind of happy to be fighting in the United States just for the time and the food and all that stuff. But this one's gonna be in Florida. I haven't fought in Florida, so it's gonna be amazing. My little 6-year-old is turning 7 that weekend, so I'm gonna take him up to Florida, and he's gonna watch me win, and then we're gonna celebrate and go to like Orlando, Florida, or do something cool for sure.
Yes, yeah, you gotta do something after that. Well,
Yeah.
For you going to all these places and representing the Northwest, Eugene, Portland, but Oregon, how would it feel for you to be able to bring that championship, if you win this $1 million prize and the championship, going all the way through, and bring that back to Pacific Northwest?
Oh, everything to me. Not only just bring that belt to Oregon and everything, but for my kids. My kids sometimes go to the gym with me 3 times a day, and they watch me struggling and cutting weight and starving and dieting, and they see me training so hard. So for me, like, just for them to see me win and bring that belt home and see all the hard work that I've been doing, it's going to be everything to me. My kids are my motivation, and I want to bring the belt home for them so bad, and I'm going to for sure. So like I said, my kids are my motivation. They're like the best thing that's ever happened to me, and watching them watch me grinding every day and putting all this work in, it's gonna put the gonna be amazing to watch me bring home the belt to them and see what all this hard work's been about.
You mentioned the cutting weight part a few times, and I don't want to go too far into it, because I'm sure that's a hard thing to do. Do you get to eat anything during this time?
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty much eating grilled chicken with no seasoning, and grilled turkey, no seasoning, or salads with very little or none salad dressing, and protein shakes. It's pretty much what I eat. I eat pretty much the same exact thing every day at the same time, and I am fiending and dreaming about carbs and bread and cake, and I can't wait. So that's another thing. After the weigh-ins, I got to control my eating, because I'm still fighting after the weigh-ins. I get so excited. I used to eat a humongous German chocolate cake after my weigh-ins, like before I fight, and then I'd kind of feel a little heavy in my fight, so I don't do that anymore. But it's a struggle. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night like sweating, scared, like having a nightmare that I ate a cake or pizza, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna make weight. But they say like the first fight is making weight, and I believe that, man. It's hard cutting all this weight and training 3 times a day, and not only that, I have kids that eat corn dogs and peanut butter
Oh,
jelly sandwiches and candy all day. And so yeah,
you
man,
gotta
it's amazing.
you gotta sit there and smell a corn dog while
Oh, I make them macaroni and cheese. I'm stirring them. It's like, oh my god, I'd
oh
do anything to eat this right now, you know. But yeah, it's kind of torture having kids in the house while you're cutting weight, but
yeah,
that's life and the
that takes
dad life.
some willpower I don't think I would have. So that's a battle in its own right. Well, going through these battles, that you have coming up, obviously the goal to get there to win the championship, the $1 million. You talked about maybe a limo driver. What do you think the first thing is that you would get with that $1 million prize?
Oh man, that's hard. I want to take my kids and my wife on an amazing vacation somewhere. I don't really know where we're gonna go, but that's the first thing. I've been training so hard for months and months and months and dieting, and I just can't wait to sit on the beach and relax, for sure. But I told myself I'm gonna win this $1 million, and I'm gonna win fight in the 225 PFL season and win that million. So this million I'm gonna win. I'm gonna focus on finishing buying off my house and doing responsible things, putting money in the bank for my kids for college, all that stuff. And then next year when I win that million, I'm gonna probably, I don't know, do something cool, but buy an island or do something fun. I don't know. We'll see.
Nice. Well, and everybody's going to get a chance to watch you here, in 10 days. For if you're watching live right now, August 16th, when you're going to be able to be competing there in Tampa. Another question I had just for live fighting like that, there's a live audience there. Do you prefer it if people are cheering or booing you?
It almost doesn't really matter to me, but I mean, obviously I want people to be cheering for me. I've definitely fought in like Ireland and in England, and I was fighting the hometown guy, and I've gotten booed so many times. I fought Benson Henderson in Arizona in his hometown, and I got booed like crazy. And so I'm kind of used to it, but it would be cool to not be booed for sure. But at the same time, like, it kind of gives you motivation when you get booed. You're like, all right, cool, you can boo me, but I'm gonna come out here and beat your boy. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't really care too much. It's not too much.
Yeah. Just harness it, whatever it is that's going on there. Well,
Yeah.
well, Brent, thank you very much, for joining us. And I think my final question there is, what would you say to everybody out there who's training right now, and working to be maybe someday where you are, who's working hard at it? What would you tell them to keep motivated, to stay motivated?
Man, find something that you are fighting for. For me, I have kids, but another thing is like, no matter what, just believe in yourself and work hard. I've had people tell me that I'm not going to become a professional fighter. I'm never going to make it. And I've had family members and people that I love dearly say that to me, and the biggest thing for me was just to ignore them and believe in myself. If you believe in yourself and you work hard, you can accomplish anything in this life. And here I am, man. I've made a life for myself. I'm providing for my family, and I grew up coming from nothing, and it's a single mom, my dad in prison, and the biggest thing, man, just believe in yourself and work hard. If you do that, anything's possible.
Well, there we go. Well, Brent, thank you very much for joining us, to talk about this. I'm excited to see what happens here in 10 days, obviously, and then you moving on to the next round. And hopefully we can catch up before that one, too, before you take your flight to wherever it is you're going to be fighting for that $1 million prize.
Yeah, let's do it for sure.
All right. Thanks, Brent. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And for everybody watching too, we are live here on Fox 12 Oregon's Fox 12 Now. It's part of Fox 12 Oregon here in the newsroom, and we appreciate you joining us. You can share this segment. It's on YouTube. It's going to be at kptv.com under the Fox 12 Now tab, the KPTV, the Fox 12 Oregon app. So all those places, wherever it is that you're watching me, feel free to share it and let other people know. If there's breaking news, we have that as well between 1 and 4 p.m. here as part of Fox 12 Now. But be sure to check out all